What is happening, gamers? This is Bradley here, and welcome back to another news roundup. And to kick us off, that Level 5 recently had their Vision 2015 event where they talked about some of their upcoming games that pertain to Yokai Watch, Fantasy Life, Professor Layton, and a brand spanking new IP. And let's just say you're probably not going to be happy with all the revelations. They announced not one, not two, but 3 Yokai Watch games for the 3DS. What? The first one is the obvious Yokai Watch 3, and this time the game will be taking place in the USA, because Kita, the game's protagonist, his father has been transferred to the United States. So you'll be encountering new yokai creatures that have more of an American feel. Plus, the game will also introduce a new female protagonist, but her story will take place in Japan, so it seems like there will be 2 separate storylines, but they'll probably come together at some point. The second game is Yokai Watch 3 Kingdoms, and it's actually a crossover title between Yokai Watch and Romance of the 3 Kingdoms. We really don't know much about this game at this point. We don't know what gameplay aspects they're going to be drawing from both series, but it's happening and it's coming to the 3DS. And finally, there's Yokai Watch Busters, and it's actually based on a minigame from Yokai Watch 2, but the game is going to be releasing pretty soon in Japan on July 11th. We have no idea if these 3 Yokai Watch games are going to get localized outside of Japan, but we do know that Nintendo is going to be the one publishing the original Yokai Watch in the West, and that includes the United States, Europe, Korea, Australia, and New Zealand. But at this point, we don't have a specific release date. But since they're going to be going all out with Yokai Watch in the West by releasing the anime, the manga, and a bunch of toys, there is definitely a chance that these other Yokai Watch games are going to get localized, especially Yokai Watch 3, since it's partly set in the United States. But other than Yokai Watch, Level 5 also unveiled Layton 7 and Fantasy Life 2, and lottie freaking da, they're smartphone games. I really don't want to talk about these 2 games all that much since we don't have confirmation of them coming to Nintendo platforms, but Fantasy Life 2 will have a familiar feel to the original Fantasy Life game, as there will still be the 12 lives, but it will focus more on being a village building simulator. And as for Layton 7, that will be a card game or a tabletop reasoning game that supports up to 7 players. The only saving grace is that the Level 5 CEO, Akihiro Hino, did mention that he would like to bring Layton 7 to the Wii U, so there's a chance of that happening, it's just not official. And the final game that Level 5 announced is their new IP called the Snack World, and yes, it's coming to the 3DS. It's described as a hyper-casual fantasy game, and it's about villages being destroyed because of mall-type buildings being constructed, and the main character sets out on a quest for revenge because I think his village gets destroyed. I don't know much about the gameplay, but I do know that there'll be little NFC toys that you can scan with your new 3DS and then have them appear in the game, but it doesn't really seem all that exciting at this point. But speaking of NFC toys, and something that is a bit more interesting, it looks like we're going to finally hear an announcement for that rumored LEGO Toys to Life game that was said to be in development, because LEGO has posted a couple pieces of artwork on their Facebook page, and they are teasing that an announcement will be made this Thursday. And I say this announcement's going to be related to the LEGO NFC hoopla because of what is shown in the artwork. The artwork shows LEGO characters next to some sort of portal, and it's rumored that the LEGO NFC game has a working title of LEGO Dimensions, so these could be portals to other dimensions. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens this Thursday, and there's a high probability that this LEGO game will come to the 3DS and Wii U, since all the LEGO games do come to Nintendo platforms, and they're gonna want to rake in as much moolah as they can. At this rate, we're gonna need whole stores dedicated to just NFC figurines, and sooner or later, we're gonna get figurines based on Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed. The dog figurine is gonna be made with real dog hair. In other news, we now have confirmation that one of my most anticipated Wii U games, which is Xenoblade Chronicles X, is going to be getting paid DLC in the form of quests. This is courtesy of a Japanese prepaid download card for the game, which confirms that additional quest content will be available to purchase. As far as I can recall, this is the first we've heard of Xenoblade Chronicles X having DLC, and at this point we don't know what type of quests these will be, whether they'll just be simple quests that you can get experience from or special items from, or if they'll have more of a story-driven aspect. It doesn't bother me that the game is getting DLC because it's already ginormica. It has a wealth of content that will last you hundreds of hours. It's not like they're holding back a big chunk of the game, but I am curious to see what these quests will entail. Now, we've heard some rumblings in the past that the highly popular action-adventure sandbox game known as Terraria will be making its way to the Wii U and 3DS, courtesy of some listings that popped up on Amazon and Gamefly. But now it's pretty much official, because the game has received a German USK rating for both the Wii U and 3DS. We haven't heard an official announcement yet, but since it got rated, it's certainly happening. So Terraria fans rejoice! And as a way to round this video off, Ronimo Games has announced a concrete release date for their upcoming side-scrolling strategy game Swords and Soldiers 2. And that release date is May 21st. Are you prepared to get your dank skirmishes on? And that will bring us to the end of the news roundup. If you like what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up and add your favorites and all that good stuff. And you can stay tuned for more videos in the future. But I will talk to you later in the next video, guys. Bye!